Happy New Year, everyone! I'm sorry I haven't been on for a while to record bits of my reading of my novels, but I've been hard at work on a new one, The Hammer and Sickle, a true crime story about Russia that I've just finished and published and should be coming out pretty soon this month, I hope. In the meantime, as you can see, hockey is back. That's why I'm wearing my Della Stars hat and shirt. I love hockey. I'm a hockey player, referee, and coach. I even got to work one game as an official for an NHL game, and that was a blast. So we're picking up with On His Majesty's Secret Service, Jane Brand, where we left off. She's in the Alps at Piz Gloria. Below, in small letters, it said Alpenhergas and Restaurant Piz Gloria, and the drooping index finger of the traditional hand pointed to the right, towards the building near the cable head. So, thought Jane to herself, Piz Gloria was not completely destroyed by my predecessor. She walked into the living room, which was a long yellow oblong. The door, released by the Swiss woman, closed with a pneumatic hiss. Inside it was deliciously warm, almost hot. They were in a small reception room, and a youngish man with a very pale crew cut and shrewd eyes got to his feet from behind a desk, and made a slight bob in their direction. Our guest is in number 2. Wie schon, said the Swiss woman curtly, and, only just more politely, to Jane, follow me, please. She went through a facing door and down a thickly piled red-carpeted passage. The left-hand wall was only occasionally broken by windows interspersed with fine skiing and mountain photographs. On the right were at first the doors of the club rooms, marked bar, restaurant, and toiletten. Then came what were obviously the doors of the bedrooms. She was shown into number 2. It was extremely comfortable, chintzy room in the American motel style with a bathroom leading off. The broad picture window was now curtained, but she knew that it must offer a tremendous view over the valley to Sovreta Group above St. Moritz. She threw her backpack on the double bed and gratefully disposed of her gloves and boots. The extra man appeared to inform her where her parachute and hang glider were stored, and withdrew, closing the door behind him. The Swiss woman stayed where she was. This is to your satisfaction? The yellow eyes were indifferent to her enthusiastic reply. She had more to say. That is good. Now perhaps I should explain some things. Convey to you some laws of the club, isn't it? I don't know, you tell me, said Jane, sitting down on the bed. That would certainly be helpful. She put a politely interested expression on her face. Where are we, for instance? In the Alps, in the high Alps, said the Swiss woman vaguely. This Alp Piz Gloria is the property of Mr. Wood. You'll meet him soon. Together with the Gemeinde, the local authorities, he constructed the Seilbahn. You have seen the cables, yes? This is the first year it is open. It is very popular and brings in much money. There are some fine ski runs. The Gloria Abfahrt is already famous. There is also a bobsled run that is much greater than the Cresta à St. Moritz. You have heard of that? You'll ski perhaps? Or make the bobsleigh? The yellow eyes were watchful. I thought this was all destroyed when Clerfeld was disposed, retorted Jane. I'm afraid not, said the Swiss woman. Never got around to it, you know. That's a pity, said Jane, but the eyes registered satisfaction. These installments were partly restored for my master, Mr. Wood, and bring good income for him. That is important. It helps to support his life's work at the Institute. Jane raised her eyes a polite fraction. The Institute for Physiologische Forschung? It is for scientific research? Mr. Wood is a leader in the field of software and computers? And the Swiss woman said, This is like the Microsoft, yes? Jane replied, Oh, really? Can't say I know much about computers. She smiled. Damn nuisance. No? The laboratories are in a separate building. There Mr. Wood also lives. In this building where we are live the programmers, designers, administrators, technicians, and specialists. He asks that you will not disturb them with too many questions. These operations are very delicate. You understand? Yes, of course. And when may I see Mr. Wood? I'm afraid I'm a very busy woman. There are matters awaiting my attention in London. She spoke impressively. The new African states. Much work to be done there. And there's the problems of government. But of course, my dear, she squinted. You'll meet him tonight at dinner. She moved to the door and pressed a bell button. She gestured downwards, now definitely embarrassed. You will have noticed that there is no door handle on this side. You'll ring when you wish to leave the room, yes? It is on account of the secrecy and propriety of the software, the electronic property. It is necessary that programmers have quiet. It is difficult to prevent them visiting each other for the sake of gossiping. It is for their own good. You understand? Bedtime is at 10 o'clock, but there is a night staff in case you should need any service. And the doors are, of course, locked. You may re-enter your room at any time. Yes, we meet for cocktails in the bar at 6. It is, how do you say, the rest pause of the day. The box-like smile made its brief appearance on her face. "My boys are much looking forward to meeting you." The door opened. It was one of the men dressed as guides, a swarthy, bull-necked man with brown Mediterranean eyes, one of Mr. Woodcock's Corsican defectors. In rapid, bad French, the woman said that another table was desired. This was to be furnished during the dinner. The man said, "Attendez." She held the door before she could close it, and went off down the passage to the right. Guards' quarters at the end of the passage? Her mind went clicking up the clues. Then that is all for the present. The post leaves at midday. We have ready telephone communications if you wish to use them. May I convey any message to Mr. Wood? Please say that I look forward to greeting him tonight. Until 6 o'clock, then. The Swiss woman closed the door with a decisive click behind her. She stood in the middle of the room. Jane let out her breath with a quiet hiss. What the hell? A kettle of fish. She would have liked to kick one of the dainty bits of furniture very hard indeed, but she had noticed that one of the 4 electric light prisms in the ceiling, one was blank, protruding eyeball. Closed-circuit television. If so, what would be its range? Not much more than a wide circle covering the center of the room. So Jane was being watched. She looked about for microphones. Probably the whole expanse of the ceiling was one. That was the wartime gimmick. She simply must assume that she was under constant supervision. She went into the bathroom, took a retainer out of her case, and put it into her mouth. Her thoughts racing, proceeded to unpack, take a shower, and make herself presentable for my boys.